Hi, and welcome into Digital Transformation Talk. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you're at in the world at this moment. Thanks for being here. We welcome you to Digital Transformation Talk. We're going to be talking about fear in leadership. Whether you're making high-stakes decisions, guiding teams through uncertainty, or stepping into new challenges, fear can either hold you back or push you forward. On this episode of Digital Transformation Talk, we'll be talking to a subject matter expert and leader about how leaders can navigate fear, embrace uncertainty, and turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Bobby Humes, aka Coach Bobby, is an executive and leadership coach with a wide range of human resources, organizational strategy, and cultural experience. He has a deep experience developing dynamic leaders and teams. Bobby works with individuals and organizations to forge healthy coaching outcomes focused on leader and team development. Bobby, welcome to Digital Transformation Talk. It's great to have you here.
Dan, I'm so pleased to be here with you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Great having you here. So, Bobby, today's topic is fear in leadership. Before we do that, Bobby, why don't you tell me a little bit about your career? I'm sure our community would love to hear a little bit about your career.
Yeah, Dan, thanks for asking. And again, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I originally from Long Beach, California, and joined the Army right after high school and was in the Army for 10 years. Been all around the world, done a lot of things, made a lot of mistakes, bumped up against a lot of fear. And on the other side of that, after 10 years in the Army, I went to grad school and then joined another element of service working in state government and then on to a school district and then the city of Seattle, which is one of the highlights of my career, both at the City of Parks and Recreation and then as the director of the Seattle Department of Human Resources. In all of that, I've made a lot of mistakes as a leader. I've bumped up against a lot of opportunities for innovation. Some I jumped in head on with my team, and others call it analysis paralysis, call it fear of liftoff. I can remember certain times where the stakes felt higher than they were, and I pulled back as a leader. Now I'm in this space, I don't know if it's the gray hair, but now I'm in this space of bring it on. Right. Let's really look at the opportunity. Let's look at what we're trying to change in the system or in the thing and see what we can do to dismantle that fear by getting really good at understanding what the question is, what the problem set is.
Got you. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I have a question. Fear often shows up when we're making big decisions or stepping into the unknown. What strategies do you recommend for leaders to recognize fear without letting it dictate their choices?
That's a good one. What strategies can we use to recognize fear without letting it dictate our choices? I think the first thing to do is to recognize, Dan, that a lot of our fear is misplaced. So I'm in my office, you're in your office. Right now, as it stands, a bear is not trying to get into my room and cuddle with me. That's not happening. That's not the problem set that we're dealing with right now. And I think sometimes we can move into a space of allowing our emotions or these responses that are innate inside all of us, inside most of us, to run amok. That fight or flight sensation, this idea that any step that I take that's a misstep is critical to life, safety, career. We just have to right size our fear first. What am I actually fearful of? And I encourage folks to write that out. Get yourself a journal and just try to capture it in a paragraph. What are you actually up against? What are you fearful of? What's at stake? Really get clear with that. Because I think once we can do that, just a shopping list, if you want to make a good meatloaf, what are you going to need, right? Really draw out what you're going to actually need and go to the store and get it. I think the same is true with fear. Let's look at it. Let's itemize its elements, what's holding us back, what that feels like. And then let's really think about how we can start to address each one of those elements. And I like to do that with my team. Now, this is going to sound like expert level, 300, 400 level leadership here, but I dare you to take the thing that you're concerned about in your leadership to your teams. And don't take the feelings like that, like the bears jumping into the room with you. I want to encourage you to take that paragraph, take that itemized list, because there's some good thinking there that you can then hold with your team. And you'd be surprised the courage and creativity that comes when you just say, hey, you know what? I've been doing some thinking. I think this is what we're up against. Here's why I want to move forward, and here's where I need your help. You'd be surprised what you get on the other end of that.
Something I'm gonna be very authentic, and we're live, and we're on LinkedIn, but I'm gonna be very authentic and truthful here. So I get filled with lots of anxiety and nerves for
Okay.
different things. Prime example, going live. It doesn't matter how many hundreds of streams I've done. Each stream, I get nervous and have to fight through the funk. And something else that plagues me sometimes is imposter syndrome. In relation to imposter syndrome, a form of fear that holds many professionals back, especially when stepping into leadership roles. How can leaders reframe that self-doubt into confidence and action?
Yeah, imposter syndrome. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, and I don't remember ever hearing anything about imposter syndrome. So in my mind, this feels like a new thing. I don't think it's a new thing. I was talking to another leader friend of mine, and what we've come up with, this is going to be in one of our books. What we've come up with is that imposter syndrome is the same as it's been for time, since the beginning of time, but now we have more time to actually leverage it. And what am I trying to say? It's okay to feel like you're in over your head in your role. It's okay to feel like this live is not going to go well. But here we are still moving forward. And I think that's something to take into our imposter syndrome in the roles we play. So if you're a leader out there and you've got a brand new role and you're feeling like I'm not good enough, you're probably not right now. And please hear me. You're more than qualified for the job because they gave you the job. And any organization is not going to put their investment and trust in you if they don't believe that you're the right person for that job. So just settle into, yeah, you have the job, and it's the title of that one book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. So there are some things that we get to do to close gaps. And I think that's where we can take action with imposter syndrome. Going back to what I said about fear and getting like an itemized list of why I feel the way I feel about moving forward in my leadership path or in the technology innovation that I want to move forward. Same is true, I believe, for imposter syndrome. Why do I feel inadequate? Or why do I feel I'm going to be found out? Is it because I don't know spreadsheets as well as the other person does, or I've never done a presentation? What's the thing that I can put my finger on that I'm just feeling inadequate? And if we can put language to those inadequacies, then we can then reflect on why we feel that way. And we say a lot in coaching that awareness brings about choice, and choice brings about action. And so we can then make a plan to say, okay, in 6 months, I'm going to be the best spreadsheet guru anyone has ever seen. Or I would always encourage folks that sometimes the mind is moving a little bit faster than we can make space for. I think that's why we have coaches. And so a coach can really help you think about some of the patterns of thinking that you have, some of the ways you are speaking to yourself, and really help you reframe that language. But a reframe that I hope you can just take away with you is that, or anyone listening right now, is that if I've set out to do it, it's probably a reason why I did that. And that alone means I'm capable. I put myself out there, I can move forward. Or they gave me the job, all I have to do now is get good at it.
Show up one foot in front of the other.
There you go.
There is times that our past can give us some fear, and something you touched on, and you said earlier, you've made a lot of mistakes, and I certainly have as well, professionally and personally. Any actionable advice or tips on letting those past mistakes go and not letting them bring fear and prevent you from moving forward?
Yeah, Dan, that's a real good one. Anyone who watches my content online knows that I was once a military contractor, and I sank a truck in a lake on Fort Lewis. Like, I did that. That happened.
That
I'm a
happened.
city boy, and I got a job working for a country boy. And the country boy said, "Have you ever been mudding?" And I said, "Never been mudding." He said, "I'm gonna show you." And it was fun. You get to go off all around, and you're bouncing in the truck, and it's really great if you know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you put an F-150 nose first into a lake. And
Right.
so got fired from that job at a critical point in my career, right out of grad school, young family. The stakes were high. And it felt like in that moment that everything was over, that any pursuit that I was going to try to make wasn't going to start. And then, you know what happened? Slowly but surely, one foot after another, I found my footing again. And it didn't take long. I would say it took about a good 3-4 months. And most of that time wasn't finding another job. It was getting good at not replaying that failure in my mind. It was a healthy bit of play by play going on in my head about what I had just done and the situation I had put my family in. And then this other thing that I think is so powerful for us that I hope that y'all can see us modeling here is humor. I think the ability to laugh at ourselves. I never want to be a spectacle for anyone, but I definitely want to be a spectacle for myself. And just being able to laugh at your failures makes it lighter. And I think the best way we can get good at laughing at our failures is by sharing them with others, particularly this newer generation that's coming into our workplace. They need to know it's okay to fail. They need to know it's okay that you're going to recover, because we need them to be resilient. And the only way that they're going to get that resilience is if we model it. All those folks out there like us who are failing that stuff, keep doing that, keep learning and growing, laugh at yourself a little bit and tell those stories.
Great insights, Bobby. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Bobby, this has been an insightful and incredible conversation. So many powerful tips and insights on leadership and fear in just 15 minutes.
Dan, I got to tell you, I like your setup, man. This is clean. I'm really excited for you. And again, it's just so much gratitude. This is one of the highlights of my week, being able to spend time with you and offer something of value to the leaders out there.
Bobby, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your insights with myself and with the LinkedIn community. And I look forward to talking to you again in the future.
For sure.
All
Thanks,
right.
Dan.
Cheers.
Peace.
Okay, chat. This includes another episode of Digital Transformation Talk. I highly encourage you to follow Bobby, connect with him on LinkedIn. He posts a lot of great content on leadership. He is a coach as well. So if you're looking for a coach, highly recommend you reach out. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Digital Transformation Talk newsletter for more conversations like this one. You can find the link in the description. We do have a lot of great episodes planned. We'll be rolling out one a week here in the next couple of months. More to come soon here on LinkedIn. So if you've been watching, keep transforming, keep innovating, and I'll see you next time on Digital Transformation Talk. Have a good day.